STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions.
Capitalism and how capitalism works. We're going to be checking out a video here, a bit of a reaction video. It's an interesting one. Let's dive into it because I think this guy is making an interesting point. And I disagree with him in many ways. But I also see where he's coming from.
But I also agree with him in the ways.
I'm still to really confirm if I really agree with him in any way. Actually, I'm still trying to confirm if I do. But yeah, let's watch the video and we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, let me see if I can make this a bit.
By the way, we're back on Instagram.
yeah, we created a new Instagram page
after we got blocked or kicked out
because we decided that we'll be there. You're not gonna kick us out. Yeah? If they want to ban us again, try it.
We'll create another page. We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be a pin on your neck.
Yeah. What a bunch of losers, man. Anyway, let's play his on.
That's it.
All right. Huh. Interesting guy. Interesting guy.
Love it.
By the way, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends. Also follow us on X at STAKKFin and Spotify at STAKK. What are your thoughts on this one, Double O?
I thought you were gonna go first.
No, I mean, I'm just. What do you agree with what this guy is saying here?
All right, so we've done several videos where I was saying if you're the mosquito in the bowl or the monkey in the cage or maybe even the boiling frog, you know, like, literally you are getting boiled and you accept it, like literally. But you know that things are wrong, but you're out here promoting it like, yes, man, this is how it works. I just gotta work 2 extra jobs. I just gotta work 4 extra jobs to get ahead. And the whole time you're still losing. It's a system that has you losing, and the guy's letting you know that, yeah, you know you're losing, but you're still participating in the system. What the heck are you complaining about?
Well,
it's that simple.
Well, you know, the guy said there that if you're going to be getting paid $20 an hour, you have to do more than $20 hours of an hour worth of work.
That's a fact.
But is that a problem? Is the thing?
No. So what people don't realize is that before capitalism, there was this corporation-based system. Actually worked very well in Italy. Way before we have this American capitalist system that we developed. What we had before was corporations, right? You have a business and I have a skill set, right? You employ me based on my skill set to provide services for you.
Yeah.
Right. In the process of doing that, we've exchanged an agreement to say, I will help you build your business with my skill set. I get paid, you get paid. Everybody goes forward. You still have some level of profitability. It's not the 80-20 or the 70-30 or the 60-40 corporations that we have in America, where it's gotten so bad that it's even 99-1, where we've shipped all the production to either Africa or Asia, while we get the natural resources for dirt cheap, and we get it produced for dirt cheap in China, and then we now sell it to the people for much cheaper. So like Africans and Asians are the ones that are at the most bottom of this whole capitalist system. America, you probably still get maybe 20-30% of the equation, where corporations keep the rest of the 70. But we have to realize that systems do not last forever. The current system that we are in right now abuses not just your sovereign, but even your energy, your person, your real self. You wonder why Canadians are wondering that, hey, everything is so expensive. Because of that equation is broken.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that this is something that it has to be broken down into a couple different parts, right? Because there is the ethics of how people engage in business in a capitalistic environment,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is the business negotiations part
Mm-hmm.
and your personal choices
Mm.
when you decide to work for any company. When companies go out to go find cheap labor and you know engage in borderline slavery, a lot of times, that is something that is absolutely is morally reprehensible, ethically reprehensible, however I want to put it, right? And I think that that is something that is not good, and we definitely have to discuss and see how we can improve on those things. When companies do not negotiate fairly in the face of rising inflation, right, versus wages, that is also something that is not positive. I agree to that, because now you find yourself in this situation where the middle class is always shrinking. People who are supposed to be performing a job for you with a certain level of integrity, that integrity starts to become shaken, especially if you're expecting this person to perform in such a high performance environment or a high pressure environment, and they are also worrying about going to do another job instead of resting and just coming back. So in that sense, right, the structure of capitalism could use some improvement, no doubt about it. Whether it is something that it requires regulations to make it happen, that is something that could have happened at some point in time. But we also know that the same people are paying for the regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're going to be getting paid $20 an hour, you have to make more than $20, produce more than $20 worth of value. Is what he said there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue that I take with this video is that the way he's saying it is as though that is a bad thing. If you have to make $20 an hour, if you accept $20 an hour, you also have to recognize that you're accepting that $20 an hour because that $20 an hour can make a certain change in your life that you find valuable. So whether you think you're worth $20 or not, that is a decision that is with you and yourself. You can choose to refuse the $20 and be jobless. Would that help you pay the bills that you're trying to pay? You see, the way I look at work, a job, a 9 to 5, I look at it as a business. I treat my life in a similar way, like as a business. If I show up to work, this is the contract we have. You said this is how much you pay me for it. I may lose in that negotiation because I'm not happy with what you're paying me. But I also understand that at this rate, this will allow me to be able to pay my phone bill,
Start your own business, invest.
Right? And exactly, and put some money towards my investments. That is still of value. Now, once you have that money, you can take it and push further, engaging in the same capitalistic situation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing that many people do not think about, and that is something that I think that is also skewing some people's mindsets. For example, if we look at this guy here, smart guy,
Mm-hmm.
right, talking about $20 an hour, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
He's teaching a class.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say that the value that he's putting in these kids' heads across the course of a semester, it's a college I'm seeing,
Yep.
right? Is that value equal to what he's paying, what he's getting paid?
Probably
Right.
not. Teachers don't get paid that much.
Okay. In fact, I think elementary school teachers should actually be getting paid more than college teachers,
True that.
right? Or college
Hardest-
professors.
It's the
right?
hardest job ever.
Yeah. So in some ways, I think that this guy actually is finessing the system. He should be getting paid less because I don't think he's actually producing what it is worth. at that point in time. Because I can assure you, all of these students in this class will have to go and sit down and do their own homework and still study this thing by themselves.
It's got to get paid for its experience, man. You can't be a professor without the experience.
Yeah, listen, man. You can be a professor without the experience, man. The first time you become a professor, you have no experience, you know?
Real life world experiences makes for a great professor. That is what you pay for at Stanford and Harvard.
I understand. You know, real life world experiences also makes you a great IT tech. Right, makes you a great ambulance driver, a great, whatever the case might be.
True that.
It is about the choices, right? And now check this out.
Let's go.
As a business owner,
yes,
when your company generates revenue, all the risk is on your head. It's not between you and your employees. Your employees can go out there and cause chaos for you, causing you a lawsuit. That expense will not be shared between you and your employees.
Yep.
You also have to pay for their insurance.
Yep.
There is also business expenses. If you rent a building, for example, right, you have to pay the rent on that building, and you also have to pay, put food on your family's table.
Yep.
So of course, when you're working for a company, they will always make more than you do.
Yep.
It's just the way it is. If this guy started running a company, can he explain to me a situation in which he makes equal as his employees? Not more, but still pays for all the risk that is associated with the business. And how will he feel about that?
Can I jump in there real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. So, during my explanation of all of this madness, I said that it's a system. So within each system, there are other subsystems in it. But you could choose to go and build your own system if you want to, right? I'll give an example. I can't remember which state that company is, where the CEO, I think it was right before COVID, decided that everybody in the team was going to get paid $70,000, like equally, no matter what you performed.
Yeah.
That is that CEO trying to bring back the corporation approach of things, where...
That's communism.
Let me finish.
Yeah, carry on.
Communism is not an economic system. It's a governmental policy system, where capitalism is an economic system in a way. But I'm just talking about the monetary economic system in this situation, right? I'm not saying that solution was the best solution, but what I was trying to say is that in that story of that corporation, if you're able to put together a team of people that knew this is what you are supposed to do, this is your role, you provide your own value, you meet your KPIs, key performance index, by the way, right? And everybody is getting out and building the company, and then we share profits at the end of the day. That is a totally different system from the capitalist system. That is a corporation that guy was trying to build. And that company stays profitable, and if you feel like you're not getting your value, you exit the system, and then, et cetera, et cetera. But that is based on key performance index, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with this performance-based capitalist system, we all know during performance season, you don't get paid based on your performance. Everybody just gets paid. No matter how audible some team members are, you all still get your 2% or whatever 3% increase you get, right? Plus, the corporation you've already agreed to take maybe 20% or 30% of the value that you've added to the corporation. Yes, the corporation has expenses. Corporations have things that it has to do. But I think that sometimes we have the extreme of it, where it's not even 20 or 30, it's 99-1. And then the employees are still getting abused so much that they have to go find another capitalist system to further abuse them, because the first job is not paying them enough. CEOs are driving in yachts, flying private jets, right? Living in mansions, while employees are getting paid $10 an hour, $20 an hour, right? Yeah. And then they have to now leave that job, don't spend time with their family, go and work another job. So there's a capitalist system that works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying that I think we're getting to the greedy part of this system right now.
I see where you're coming from. Yes, you can be more. You can apply compassionate capitalism. That is I think that's always a great thing. The danger with this video is this idea that people just getting paid right now is a problem. The fact that the company makes more money than the employee does, at least when I watched this video,
That was your interpretation.
That is the way the message came across to me.
Okay.
Right. It is not a problem to be making less money than the company is. Of course, like you were saying there, there has to be something in it for the company.
Yep.
Of course, there has to be something in it for the company. It's the whole reason why you are there.
They created the job in the first place.
Right. They created a job because they said, we need someone that can do this because we have someone who is willing to pay us to provide this service. You as an individual, you have that experience. You show up, you discuss, they tell you how much to pay you, you accept it or you deny it. As you gain that experience, right, that's why when you go somewhere else to another job,
you ask for more.
And you're asking for more, and that company is willing to pay you more because they probably do not have someone with your skill sets, and they see your skill sets and the time you have spent there, and they're willing to pay you more. You see? But you cannot start from the beginning expecting, otherwise there'll be no need for an, entry level, right? Entry level or an apprentice or whatever the case you might want to call it. So there is that. I think that where the issue lies is on the ethical side of things. These people have no morals. These people have no limits or compassion for anybody else. Profit is their only move, and all they care about is maximizing profit at any cost, whether it is slave labor, straight up, or paying people way less than they reasonably should be able to receive in that situation for the purpose of keeping more profits to themselves. Okay, that is a matter of greed. And of course, like I already mentioned, ethics and morals, if you will. If people would, if the people who run these corporations would have that level of compassion for the people that they employ, right? I think that you will find that yes, the quality of life for everyone would be able to be elevated. But that's a people problem. I don't know if this one is a money problem.
I don't think so. I do see where this links to the money, because this is one of the reasons why I said we should do this, right? So imagine if this was in a Bitcoin-based environment, right?
Yeah.
If this was an economy or capitalist system based on Bitcoin, the transparency of how much the corporation is making is visual. Number one, right? It's public, so the employees know how much the company is making. Now, do you necessarily need to reflect or show how much every single employee on your corporation is getting paid? HR teams will say you don't want to make that transparent, because you don't want this employee to know that other employee is getting paid more than they are, even though that other employee is not putting in as much effort.
Right.
So I think that the lack of transparency is another thing that makes the current system that we're in horrible, where women are getting paid a lot less, where minorities are getting paid a lot more less, even though sometimes they actually create more value. So this is how money enters the system that we're talking about here, right? If we were on a Bitcoin standard and corporations get paid in Bitcoin, which is transparent, and then the employees get paid in Bitcoin too, which is also transparent, right? The inequalities we might have an opportunity to remove the inequalities of underpaying some people. Maybe, but too much transparency might actually be a bad thing as well. But I don't know that. We've not tested that yet.
I think that I don't think a private company's books, I don't think it should be open to everyone.
They do open it for taxes, and they also open it for the SECs before they go public. They also open it for buyouts. Yeah,
but I don't think that like having it transparent to the employees, where the employees know how much the business is making and all of that stuff. I don't think that is.
I mean, our company tells us how much they made last year. They don't tell us the details.
Yeah, they can tell us how much they made, but they cannot. I don't think that. For one, I don't think that it is. Like you said, they don't have the details in there. And yeah, definitely you can have. I mean, right now we already know that a bunch of companies make a bunch of money. But now I take it and translate it to does that mean that the person who is making $20 an hour now deserves to be making $30 an hour? Do they deserve it? Did they earn it? You know, because it's even with the equality thing and such. I think if you have that, if you're using blockchain as a way to try and solve that problem within a company, it seems to me that it will just cause more chaos.
I think it will. I agree with that.
Yeah. We will never know what people's motives are.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think that the idea of completely eradicating discrimination is a crazy thing to be aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Discrimination will always exist. But I think that when people find out that they're being discriminated against, that is a situation where they have to handle it individually to resolve that situation for themselves.
It doesn't mean that the entire corporation is discriminatory. It could just be that specific person in that role.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Because if we take the discriminatory thing and try to make it a public affair or a public battle, we just end up in this situation where people use it for their own benefits, and it's just a whole chaotic thing. It is not my business who is being discriminated against somewhere. It is not a good thing for them to be discriminated against. I can agree to that, right? But if I'm now expected to have to fight for everybody else's, I guess, equality, and I don't know if that would be the right term to use there, but if I have to now be put in the position to have to fight for everyone else's equality, I don't think that is a mission that I'm interested in taking on. And I think that most people are probably not interested in taking on that mission. I get it. People might say, well, we all had to fight for the black cause and things like that. Yeah. I get where you're coming from. But listen, the black people had to fight for that. They had to be the ones leading that fight. This is why we have people like Martin Luther King, right? Mm-hmm. Leading the charge on something that is massively being imposed on their people, widely and openly so. Mm-hmm. Okay? But now at the same time, we find ourselves in a point in time where there's still the idea of racism and there has to be a fight, right?
It's not going away for some odd reason.
Right, but this time around, notice that there is no Martin Luther King. In fact, it is more white people fighting for the black cause than the black people actually are fighting.
Yeah, this topic is about
exactly. No, I'm saying this is what I'm saying. It is realistic. It is just the real thing. Okay, when you look at the woke crowd, the people who go out and do this protests and all of this, look at Black Lives Matter. I don't think protesting solves the problem. It does not solve the problem. But what I'm saying is, okay, if you look at the demographics of the people that are engaged in that, it is not beneficial for them to be doing that.
You don't win. You don't win at the end of the day.
Yeah. If you see, there's a bunch, you might see a bunch of white kids out there, right, going crazy, rioting and everything. Now they're engaged in something that maybe they should have not been part of it. It was not beneficial to them. Okay. Black people, on the other hand, I think that it is up to black people to be able to stand on their ground on what it is that they want and have appropriate representation. It is disappointing that we have people like Captain who only show up when there's some chaotic stuff. But I think that this is how you gain your respect, okay? Because I can assure you that here in the United States, okay, if I don't know, let's say if there was a certain sort of massive discrimination going on against Indians, I think the U.S. government will hear about it. Okay, it was a
and they will do something, and they will do something about it. Indians or the Chinese,
exactly. If you saw when there was the
Iranians,
the Iranians, right? If you saw when there was the whole situation with apparently racism against Asians or Chinese people for the COVID situation, I think you saw that got curtailed pretty quickly. Of course, there's going to be the narrative in the news and all of that stuff. But I always ask myself, if there is such a discrimination against Africans in America, what African nation is standing for us? And that is where the respect comes in. Respecting yourself first before expecting others to respect you. And I think that's the same thing with this.
Yeah, don't take the $20 if you don't think it's what if it's what you value. No matter how horrible things might be.
Yeah.
Say no.
Yeah, because when you accept the $20, when you realize that it is not what you are worth or what you want, When you go home, that is when you get that feeling that you feel like you've been ripped off, but you don't know why. It's because you have violated your own rules.
Boom.
That is where it comes from.
So Bitcoin doesn't fix this. Literally, that's what we're trying to say. This is one of those situations where it's you.
And understanding value, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, understanding value, because that's something that has definitely been manipulated.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about perspective. You can take $20 an hour and feel cheated. Or you can take it and feel extremely happy.
Or you cannot take it at all and say,
take it at all. Yeah.
Just say, okay, I'll be poor.
Yeah.
I'd rather be poor than sell myself into slavery.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough decision for a lot of people to make.
Listen, man, it's a simple choice. Apply discipline to yourself. Stick to your morals. And do not go against things that violate your own rules. Because when you violate your own morals, your own guidelines that you've put in place, you do not exercise discipline. You always end up feeling cheated because you cheated yourself
first.
Yeah.
Good point.
Anything else you want to add to this one, sir?
So in the process of creating and storing value, we've come to the reality that Bitcoin doesn't solve everything. At some point, you and you only have to understand what your definition of a store of value is. How much you deserve for yourself. At that point, once you realize that, you decide if you want to get stuck in the fiat extreme capitalist system or a more compassionate, maybe capitalist, Bitcoin standard system.
Yeah. Take the money and buy Bitcoin with it. Bitcoin to solve the problem.
Maybe that way will solve that problem.
Yeah. I mean, look, the company could still pay you the $20 an hour in Bitcoin.
But then you can stay disciplined and live within your means and live poor and then invest in Bitcoin.
But look at this, okay? If they said they were paying you Bitcoin and they were paying you $20 an hour in Bitcoin, and you accepted that $20 an hour in Bitcoin, you might still feel cheated.
Yep.
Despite the fact that the Bitcoin will probably go up, but I think that is actually more of a reason to accept $20 an hour for Bitcoin now, because it has the ability to go up versus in the fiat system where it's only going to go down. Nonetheless, right, I think that if you are accepting that rate, it is your choice.
Lose-lose situation.
Yeah, you have to accept with whatever comes with it.
Yep.
Sadness, happiness, and everything else. All right. Incredible. That was a nice conversation on that there. I like that. That was interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you find this interesting as well. Like the video. Share it with your friends. And of course, comment down below and let us know what you think. This one was psychological. We are also over there on X at STAKK, and of course on Spotify at STAKK. Until next time, praise and out.
Double O.